What if you could be out of debt? What would your life be like if you could get out of debt? Or what would it be like if you had an actual plan to get out of debt? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. It's your girl Saran. I'm in the building. I'm so excited to be back. We celebrated my 100th episode about 2 weeks ago, and I took a little break. But here today, I'm coming in. We're going to talk about the real cost of debt and how it's impacting you, and how it's stealing your future wealth, and what you can do to take it back. What you need to do to take back your wealth, and some strategies you can employ right now, today. So I'm excited to be here, back in the building. And as always, on the Unblocking Your Path to Wealth podcast, I like to start with an affirmation. And this week's affirmation is: I celebrate my manifestations and I receive my blessings. I celebrate my manifestations and I receive my blessings. So I hope that if you don't understand that money is a mindset first, that you do know that. Today we're going to talk about the mindset that it takes and the action you need to take to get out of debt, and for good, to get out of debt for good. If you don't already know, I am having a 3-day boot camp starting tomorrow, 7 p.m. to 8:30 p.m., Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, showing the specific strategies that I use to get out of debt and that I use with my clients to get out of debt. But today I'm going to take you through the cycle of debt and how we got here in the first place, how we ended up in a place where we are so tied to debt that we worry about everything, because if we lose our jobs, we have debt to pay. It's not just the survival that we concern ourselves with, it's the debts that are lingering over us. And so let's just talk about it. Let's get all the way into it right now. But I really want you to be thinking about, in the back of your mind, what if you had a solid plan to get out of debt? What would that mean to you? What if you knew you could be out of debt in 3 years, 4 years, 5 years? Some people, you could be out of debt in 9 years, and you think, oh, 9 years is a long time. But if you're in debt, you're probably going to be in debt for the next 30 or 40 years. So 9 years is a deal, right? So one of the things that we lack the knowledge of in ourselves is what our actual financial value is in the world. And I do this exercise in my workshops. I'm going to do it with you here today. I want you to take whatever your annual income is right now today and multiply that by 10. And that's going to give you a figure somewhere in the six figures, either 500,000 to $1 million, right? That's how much you're going to make every 10 years. So if you make $50,000 a year, every 10 years, you will have made $500,000. If you make $100,000 a year, every 10 years, you will have made $1 million. That's how much you're actually worth for those 10 years. But we don't know that. Now, if you take that same 10 years and you multiply it by 1, 2, or 3, considering that you're going to be working another 10 or 20 years or 30 years, now you're talking into the million. Now you're talking $2 million, $3 million that you are worth to the marketplace. The problem is we walk around here acting like we're worth $2. We don't understand that our value and what our dollar means. When you hear the statistics say, oh, the black dollar is worth this or worth that, they're not talking about your paycheck that you look down on because it's not enough to make ends meet, and it's not your fault because interest is robbing you blind, right? And they're talking about the total value that you will have earned in your lifetime. If you don't know how much you've earned in your lifetime, I know one person who knows exactly how much you've earned in your lifetime up to this date. They are called the Social Security Administration. You can go to their website, create your login.gov account, and find out exactly how much money you have made in your working lifetime. Now, if you make over, I think it's about $150,000, Social Security only tracks up to the amount that they tax you on. But you really want to get in and know how much money that is. But the question really becomes, where did the money go? Well, I'm going to tell you. The money went to paying interest on debt, interest on credit cards, interest on mortgages, interest on cars, interest on medical bills, taxes. All that money is going out. 60% of the money we're bringing in is going out to other entities before we even enjoy anything in our lives, anything in our day to day lives. So let me break this debt down for you, right? Debt is really the road to financial ruin. Debt is holding us hostage. It is holding us in jobs we hate, working with people we hate, and doing things we would rather not be doing, right? And I don't care if you got a desk job or you got a job that may be a little less desirable. A lot of people would not be working where they work right now if it were not for the debt that they have. They would be pursuing some other type of dream or lifestyle goal. So the thing is that what happens is, and you notice you got a job. Great. You got money coming in, you pay your taxes, but still you might not be ready or able to invest, especially if it's your first job and you're just trying to figure things out, because nobody taught you to pay yourself first. No bills get paid until your investment accounts get stacked. We should be learning this in high school and in college, but instead they're teaching us things that we don't always use. And this is no offense to my educator friends, because I love y'all, but we need to be talking about investing our money first, because our money needs time to grow. Now, if you can't afford to invest, you're going to spend the rest. You're going to go do all the things, right? All the ladies that are my age, we're doing very bougie things with our money. We're going to brunch, we're traveling, we're going to Bali, we're going to Dubai, we're going to Costa Rica. We are going around the world. We're going to all the sites around the United States. We're visiting and we're pursuing our dreams with all the extra money that we have. But the problem is that we don't want to end up in a place where we're even doing community service with that money, but we don't want to end up on the other side of that service that we're giving. Keep that in mind. Now, after you spent all the rest, you spent all the money that you made, you saved a little bit, you didn't really get to the investment because we haven't been encouraged highly to learn the investment game, which I do encourage you to do. Then something comes out, something unexpected comes. It's big, it's costly. And what do? We use our credit card, right? So now we have a major expense that we have spent money on. And that expense comes at a cost, it comes at an interest rate. Banks love people who pay interest. If you're someone who gets your credit card statement every 30 days and you pay the bank that balance off, the banks don't like you. They consider you a slug, someone they're never going to make any money on. You're really useless. They gave you the credit because you pay it off, because really they have to, because you got good great credit. But they're looking for the people who don't pay the full balance every month, which is why when your credit is lower, they give you the credit and they give you a crazy high interest rate, because they know you're going to figure out how to pay it, and you're never going to pay the full balance, and they're going to earn money hand over fist on your interest dollars that you're paying. So once you're forced to borrow, you're in a situation where you got into debt. And every dollar that you borrow obligates every future dollar that you're ever going to make to pay that debt. So your current self is creating debt for your future self to continuously pay, no matter whether you like it or not. So the best thing is to find a way to get out of debt. So now you've gone through that cycle. The next thing you do is, in order to pay that debt, because you had to incur it because you didn't have the funds to pay for it outright, now you got to reduce the money that you were going to spend on your lifestyle. And now you can't go to on any of the trips. Maybe you can't go to all the brunches, or you can't participate in the service event or donate to that cause that you really love, because you got to pay debt, right? And then finally, maybe you get it paid off, but it's a slippery slope, right? You don't have any collateral other than your job. And then what happens if something happens to your job? And those of you know that in the world we live in, there are a lot, and I live in the Maryland, DC area. there are a lot of people that I know personally that are impacted by the job shifts and the changes. So then what happens? Do we have the money to cover all those expenses? Maybe, maybe not. Then what happens is we dip into our retirement accounts and then those monies get depleted. And now we're at a place where we're having to um, deplete the retirement, which means in the future, you're not going to have the money that you need to live how you want to live. But not only that, you didn't just lose that dollar, you lost all the interest you would have lost by keeping it in that account. And so now you're stuck. It's a catch 22. It's a never ending cycle unless you decide to get off the ride. Now, if you get extra cash flow, it'll pay off the debt, and it reduce the pressure. But again, another unexpected expense will come, right? And you can name what some of those unexpected expenses are in the chat. You're watching live. Drop some unexpected expenses that maybe you've experienced in the chat on Instagram. Drop it in the chat. Whatever, something that's unexpected that throws you for a curve or throws you for a loop, and your finances get impacted. And what happens is now you got to use the credit again, right? And you go up to the limit. And as soon as you fill it up to the limit, your credit score drops. And now they don't want to give you more money because now you need it. The crazy part is when you need credit, they won't give you new credit. Make that make sense. Like when I don't need it, why are you offering me $20,000, $50,000? Why are you sending me these offers when I don't need credit? But when I do need credit, it's crickets. Nobody's around. Nobody's available to do nothing for you, right? And I know we've experienced it, right? You can say me in the chat if you've experienced that. But we have that slippery slope is something that we really need to work through, because as we get through that slope, we get stuck. It also impacts our emotions, right? It puts us in a place where we feel stressed, we feel tired. It impacts our physical body because debt in and of itself creates a level of stress that creates disease or dis-ease. That's what a disease is. It's dis-ease in your body because you're stressed, you're tired, you're going to work, you're in the rat race, you're fighting traffic. I know here everybody has to go back to work. So you're fighting traffic, you're fighting to get parking, you're fighting to get somewhere to sit to eat lunch, you're fighting in the office because everybody's in the office, and you just found out, you just remembered you didn't really like your coworkers. They were really great virtually, right? And you just feel like there's never enough money. And this is not just for people who feel like maybe you're at a certain income bracket. When I talk to clients who are making 100, 150K, 200K a year, they feel the same stress because they're in the same debt trap. They're in the same debt loop as anyone that's maybe making 50,000. The only difference is that their debt looks different, and it affords them the opportunity to be in different spaces and have a different type of lifestyle, seemingly, but still one paycheck, two paychecks away from really a huge financial catastrophe, right? So if you feel like you never have enough money, you're stressing over bills and debt, you're worried about your financial future, this is the thing. This is the reason that I created the boot camp. It came out of necessity because I had so many clients that were having this issue. I said, I have to bring some women together to get into community so we can solve for this problem, when we can go after it together, to put some strength behind it, right? And the big thing is to really think about, how do you want to move forward with debt? If I told you there was someone coming to your house to steal your paycheck, would you open the door for them? If the answer is no, then that's how we have to start looking at the creditors and the credit card companies, because they are coming to get our money out of our bank accounts by creating needs and creating problems and creating situations and creating wants for things that we may not have been even thinking about, right? Now I'm going to judge myself for a little bit, because if you are a TikTok person, I watch TikTok because I like to watch the videos on gardening and different things. But of course, once you show them what you're watching, they keep showing it to you. And why? They always sell me something new on the video. There's always an opportunity for me to do a one-click payment to get something new that I didn't know I needed, that I didn't know I wanted, that will I even use it once I get it, is available to me. And it's a new ad or a new sale every 30 seconds. And is designed that way on purpose to separate you from the money you worked so hard for, that you fought traffic to get through, that you sat in the office and fussed and fought with your coworkers and did all the things and ate sandwiches for lunch and whatever it is you have to do at your job. If you got a dirty job or a desk job, it just depends, whatever it is. All jobs are hard because they're jobs, right? You had to do the work. And as soon as you get home, it's in your hand. You carry around the device in your hand that says, spend your money here really fast. Right? I did a video a few years ago called Blowing Money Fast. We are blowing money faster than ever these days because it's in our hands, because of the marketing that the companies have created, and they've made it so easy for us to buy. And we use our credit cards to do it. And we're not thinking about the interest when we buy it because they've hidden the interest rates on the statements, and the interest rates are up to 40% on a lot of our credit cards. You heard that right. 40% are the interest rates. So I said all that to say we got to get smarter. If you're in debt, and that's everybody mostly. I had one lady tell me on my kickoff call on Sunday that she wasn't in debt. She only had a mortgage and a car note. And I said, I hate to break it to you, but that's debt. If you owe money to anyone that you have to make continued payments that has an interest rate attached to it, then you are in debt. There's a difference between a bill and a debt. Usually our utilities and things like that are bills because you pay them one time and there's no interest attached to it. It's a one-time balance. You're going to pay it. It usually doesn't roll over unless you have some financial situations where you are rolling it over and you're trying to figure things out. I get that. That happens in life. But for the most part, it's meant to be paid on a 30-day basis. That's a bill. Once there's interest attached and you can pay it over time, that's a debt. I don't care what it is. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what you needed it for, what was done. It is a debt. So if you have debt and you're under the sound of my voice watching my video, then you should join the 3-day Get Out of Debt Boot Camp. It is not too late to join. Tomorrow is the first day. We start at 7 p.m. sharp. It is virtual, so you can get in the room. You can go to joinsaran.com/debt-free. The website is going across the screen. And sign up, name, email, phone number, simple. You'll get the Zoom link. You'll be in the room with like-minded women and a few men. I got a few guys who signed up, which was cool. But it's mostly women. You'll be in the room with women who are there to execute and get a plan to get out of debt. We will be doing hands-on exercises to create roadmaps for your debt so that you can walk away with a plan to get you out of debt. That is my promise to you. So I would love to have you join if you have not already joined. I'm excited about the group of women who are already coming and the 2 guys who are already coming. But I want to make sure you know that debt is killing us. If you have a health problem, I guarantee it could be tied back to your debt, the stress created by your debt in some way, shape, fashion, or form. If you have physical ailments, sometimes, and the doctor can't figure out what it is, it's usually mental and it's stress related, and it's probably tied to debt or the work that you're doing or the people that you're around. And so what we want to do is we want to get to the source of the problem and remove it and solve for it and have a plan so that you can move forward in a positive and a mighty way and walk in the strength that you were given and walk in the life that you were meant to live. So that's my podcast episode for this week. Come back. I won't be here next week because I will be in Townsend. I'm receiving an award from Maryland Top 100 Women, and I'll be there. It's at the same time as the podcast, but I will be back the very next Monday. I may drop a recorded video for that date, but I won't be live. But I do love you all. I hope that each of you are able and willing to take charge of your finances in a way that really, really matters so that you can see the change, that you can have the wealth that you were created and birthed to have, and you have access to all the abundance that is afforded to you. And again, our affirmation for this week is I celebrate my manifestations and I receive my blessings. So, receive the blessing of being invited to a free debt-free boot camp at joinsaran.com/debt-free. And I will see you on the other side. Peace, love, and light. Let's get your money right. Bye.